Katie Farner, Director for the Sunshine State Superstars. Recently, I did a training video on developing your brand and how developing your brand is such an important step of starting your own business. Your brand is something that is going to determine whether people want to shop with you, host with you, and ultimately join your team. So your brand is something that's very important. Your brand is also something that is going to help you turn your customers into fans of yours. So what I'm going to share with you today is 5 tips on how to actually figure out what your brand is. So first, let's talk about brand. It's something that there's a lot of talk going on about. A lot of people are talking about the word brand. And a brand is more than a logo. A lot of people think a brand is just a logo, like Apple or Sony or Hurley or Roxy. Like, a lot of people think a brand is just a logo, but it's so much more than a logo. A brand is what a company is at their core, what that company wants you to experience or feel when you visit one of their stores or when you shop with one of the people who represent the company. So with Scentsy, your brand is you. You are the brand, because when your customer thinks of Scentsy, they shouldn't just think of the product or their warmer sitting in their home. They should think about Katie Farner, Scentsy consultant. That is your brand. You are that person. You are going to determine what their feelings and thoughts are on the brand. It's all about an experience, is really ultimately what a brand is. What you want to really think about ultimately, what is your customer experiencing? What are their thoughts? What are they saying about you and your business after they've had an experience or dealing with you? Is it positive or negative? Does the mention of your business or name make them feel something good or something bad? That is ultimately a reflection of your brand and what you're putting out there. So let's talk about 5 different ways to help establish your brand. The first one is you got to ask yourself, what do you value? What is at your core? Is it your family? Is it your faith? What is it at your core that you ultimately value? That's the core of your brand. Number 2, your attitude. Your attitude is very important. It can either really harm your business or be a huge assistance to your business. And I think attitude is something that we all deal with. We all have bad days where we're a little bit crabby or fussy. And those are days where we've really got to make sure that we are keeping ourselves in check. If a customer texts us, sends us a text on a day we're a little crabby, we got to make sure that we double read it and make sure there's no attitude or tone in our text, or if we're on the phone with a team member and they might be a little bit needy, we got to make sure that we're not giving off some attitude. Your attitude is very critical. Are you a glass half empty or a glass half full? Are you a pessimist or an optimist? Your attitude is something that can always be changed. It's not your character or your personality. It's something that you can change. So if there's something in your life that is making you have a poor attitude, fix it or get it out of your life, because a negative attitude in your business is going to determine whether or not your customers want to deal with you, because they're not going to tell you, you have a bad attitude, you might want to think about changing it, or I might not host another party with you. No, they're just not going to deal with you. So keep your attitude in check. Number 3 is your passion. This is one of the things that I hear the most from my customers and hosts, is that they can feel and see my passion for this brand and for this company. And passion is a critical part of establishing your brand as a Scentsy family consultant. You might sell Volata, you might sell Scentsy fragrance, but whatever product you sell, be 100% passionate about it. Don't sell this and this and this, and Scentsy. You've got to focus on one thing and let one thing be your passion. Don't be overwhelmed with a bunch of products and become just this direct sales lady. Pick one and be passionate about one. If you are passionate about something, people are going to gravitate towards you. Number 4, what is your purpose? Where do you want to be in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? What are you ultimately working towards? You've got to discover your purpose. And number 5, This is the last one, and this is about, I call it 6 words. So what you want to do is you want to sit down and honestly ask yourself, what are 6 adjectives that are going to describe me? And I want you to ask some friends and family who know you best to use 6 words, 6 adjectives to describe you as well. That is going to help you get a real idea of your brand, because these are things that you're going to use in your advertising language. Like, oh, I'm, passionate about my product, or oh, I am determined to make, like I would say that I'm passionate about my product and I'm determined to make Scentsy a household name in Florida. Things like that, other terms that people have given to describe me, I can use to help genuinely market myself. So these will be really beneficial and really eye-opening for you. And be very honest with yourself when you describe yourself with your 6 words, and see what kind of feedback you get from your family. All of these 5 steps are going to help you decide the core, figure out the core of your brand. Once you've decided your brand, it's how are you going to put it out there? How are you going to let people experience it? Because your brand is not going to be seen if you just keep it all inside and you're not out in public and you're not posting on Facebook and Instagram and you're not making a name for yourself. So that's really ultimately what you've got to do. And when it comes to your brand, you've got to also discover what is your way that you're going to set yourself apart as a Scentsy consultant. Really, this should be step number 6. How are you going to set yourself apart as a Scentsy consultant? Why is shopping with you going to be different than shopping with X consultant down the street? Or why is being a part of your team going to be different than being a part of X's team down the street? That's important to establish that. So for me, I think one of the ways that I really focus on having a great foundation relationship with my customers is I look at every new customer as a friend. Every new customer that I gain, every time I go to a home party, my goal that night is just to make new friends. And then I send them a Facebook friend request and we just continue on the relationship building. They see what I've got going on in my life. I follow up with them and reach out to them. And so I continue the communication. And once they become my Facebook friend, it's very easy for them to see that the person that I was at that home party is who I am. That is my brand. It is a brand that I continue to reflect on my personal Facebook page. So that's something to really think about, especially with the attitude subject that we talked about. Make sure that your Facebook page is reflecting a positive attitude, is reflecting your brand positively. Because like we talked about, people are going to decide whether they want to shop, host, or join with you, or whether they want to avoid you altogether. So following these steps and building these friendship relationships with your customers, allowing them to continue to see your brand and who you are, is going to build relationships with your customers that is going to be long lasting. They are going to become your fans, not just your customers. And a fan is somebody who's going to refer you business, who's going to continue to be loyal to you no matter who may join that they happen to know. They are somebody who is going to be all 100% on board. They think of Scentsy and they think Katie Farner. That is what you want. And the start of how you're going to do that is developing your brand and then perfecting your brand. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to see all of my latest videos to help you run a successful Scentsy family business. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.